gentlemen, court is back in session. Welcome to another exciting episode of Devil's Due. I am your host, Carl Duty. With me, as always, is a man who is a friend of mine from work who I met in a gladiatorial combat arena, Mr. Drew Celestino.
Well played. Well played.
I like to be relevant.
Oh,
timely with
so relevant.
Yes.
So relevant. I think that moment broke the internet.
Yeah, many memes have been made.
We're going to talk about all that.
Oh yeah, we're going to get there.
I can't wait. I'm excited.
Yeah, folks, not going to lie, we've got a pretty freaking awesome episode in store for you.
In theory, on paper.
We got some good news, we got some reviews, we got some listener questions, we got a freaking fantastic episode of Daredevil to break down. I think we're going to get philosophically deep on this episode of Daredevil. But before we get to all that, sir, you're making a grimacing face.
Yeah. I'll tell you all about it in my week here.
Okay. How was your week? We won't keep the people in suspense.
No, it's good. It's good. Week was good, actually. Since we last met, I've been taking full advantage of this whole GIME membership thing.
A GIME?
GIME.
Oh, a GIME.
Yeah, the gym situation.
Yes.
Doing my thing. Going every other day.
Getting them gains.
I don't know if I'm getting...
I believe the gym lingo is.
I don't know if I'm putting on gains yet, but my numbers of lifting are going up.
Well, I said to you, I mean, you have to get the gains because you're the eye candy of the show.
Yeah, well, I'm working on it. Don't sell yourself short there, sir. With your beard is looking mighty proper right now.
Well, I like to keep it, neat.
Yeah, I can't do that, so I have to overcompensate with muscle for my shortness.
I kind of have to do it because I can't grow a well-groomed, large beard.
Sure.
Because at some point, it just starts growing longer in some spots than it does in others. And
that's icky. You got a nice little... Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Classy.
Yeah.
Can't do that. This is all I got right here. This chin, this is it. In November, I go for the stash, and it looks terrible, but I rock it anyway because I don't care how I look to people.
Do you go with just the stash?
No, I'm not a weirdo.
I rocked just the stash for a while. I tried to bring it back.
How'd that go?
I've been more successful at other things in life than I was at that.
Anyway,
I got pictures.
So the gym is going well. So the grimace you mentioned is me.
Yeah, you're drinking something.
I'm drinking water with a scoop of allegedly flavorless protein powder. Spoiler alert. In water, it ain't flavorless. So to compensate for that, I got some of that that water flavor squeezy stuff.
Yeah,
I got Kool-Aid grape going right now, and it's great. But that protein has an aftertaste, a little high note,
a little chalkiness.
A little chalky would be preferable to what this kind of tastes like.
What would you describe it as?
It's hard to describe. It's not good. Let's put it that way. This isn't the flavored stuff. I should probably look into some chocolate or peanut butter or something. But so yeah, I'm upping my protein intake and I'm hitting weights and but as I say all that, I'm still the guy who goes to the gym like yesterday, for instance, and I get my stuff ready. I went alone because my lifting buddy is away. He's out of town.
Okay.
So I go alone. I go get myself set up on a squat rack, and there were a group of bros, dude bros, in the locker room, and they were in the locker room kind of being obnoxious, and I'm like, okay, great, well, I'm just going to go put my wireless Bluetooth headphones in and go to my squat rack and do my thing. So I get over there only to realize that my Bluetooth headphones were dead, so I got to get pumped up to, garbage music and that they play in the gym. And then as I'm getting out no, not even, it's just bad. It's like Kiss 98.5, but worse. So I'm trying to get my thing, get mentally ready, get all amped up. And then sure enough, the bros, they decide to locate right by me. And they're all in their tank tops and they're, the one dude's kind of serious business looking with the muscles and whatnot.
Yeah.
Then he's got the other bros, though, that were just kind of hanging around, and they all got their big, obnoxious Beats headphones on. Have you seen these things?
Yeah.
No, stop with that. Anyway. So they're all mugging, doing their deadlifts right behind me, and I'm like, me, Mr. Inadequate Amateur, I'm just like, I'm in a terrible mental place with these guys around me trying to get my lifts on. I did what I could, and then I'm not going to say I cut it short because I hit all my numbers that I wanted to hit.
Yeah.
But I got the hell out of there.
Yeah.
So that was unfortunate.
My niece wanted a pair of those Beats headphones. I tried really hard to sell her on a pair of Bose headphones like I'm wearing right now.
Classy.
They sound better.
The kids like the
more
Beats.
for your money. Yeah.
I like the in-ears, personally. Like I'm on right now, I like these.
I prefer the over-ear.
Yeah, I can't.
You get a better sound out of it.
I like these better, but
Okay.
that's because I don't like anything.
Personal preference, personal comfort.
Totally. Anyway, so that's going on. That's going okay. I feel pretty good about that. It's weird. It's a whole different culture for me, but it's something I feel like I have to do at this point in my life. So that happened. I did a brew on Sunday. My buddy Colin.
Saw that. How'd that go?
Not as well as I wanted, but
Okay.
it's bubbling downstairs, so we'll see what it turns into.
Alrighty.
I think I need some new equipment. We'll get into a devil's brew about that at some point. Basically, my mash tun, the thing that you put your grain in with your water of temperature and hold until you extract all the sugar out of the grain.
Sure.
Well, it's a thing. It's a cooler, essentially, that you put your dry grain in. You get your water up to ballpark 168 degrees-ish.
Yeah.
You put the water in the grain, close the lid, let that sit for like an hour, ballpark figures here.
Yep.
And you run all of it out, and that's where you get your base for your beer, basically. That's where all the sugar comes out of the grain. Well, if you have like an inefficient system, which is what I'm having right now, you don't get all the sugar you want out, and your beer won't be as high in ABV. You won't hit your target numbers when you want to start the boiling process. It's just your beer won't be what you want it to be. I'm running into that right now, I think. So my cooler has served me well this long, but I think it's time to upgrade some equipment. That's unfortunate. Raw, give you a quick Raw recap. I'm just going to truck through all of it because a lot of good stuff has happened here, and I want to end it with my favorite thing of the week. So Raw was not nearly as good as it was last week. Let's just get that out of the way.
It's gone back to form.
Not totally. There's still some cool stuff going on. They're doing a roster shakeup where they're gonna take guys from SmackDown, put them on Raw, put guys on Raw, put them on SmackDown. That's happening right now. In fact, I should set my DVR because they're going to be doing some stuff to that. Damn it.
And what channels do these air?
USA. It's all on USA.
Both shows?
Yes, both shows.
Okay.
8 o'clock Monday, 8 o'clock Tuesday. SmackDown is an hour shorter than Raw, though, mercifully. Last week, when my phone was blowing up on the show, you might remember. Shinsuke debuted.
I saw that.
Didn't wrestle anybody. Just showed up.
Well,
Did his entrance.
Baby stuff.
Place went nuts. He left. Okay, sure. Ty Dillinger also debuted.
Okay.
He of 10 fame.
Okay.
Yeah, he's on the main roster now. Good for him, man. That guy's been in developmental for like over a decade. He's earned it. Anyway, Raw was a reversion somewhat back to form last night, but Braun Strowman, of all people, you might have seen this because it made like Deadspin, beat the crap out of Roman Reigns backstage for like a 10-minute segment. Literally, just beat the bejesus out of him. They load him onto a stretcher. They're getting ready to like roll him. They're up on like this loading bay, where trucks pull up. So there's like that big gap, like that big drop. So they're getting them all strapped in, and I don't know how they there's a cut in the cat. They filmed it earlier in the day, obviously, but they did it so well. So they're getting them all strapped in, and then you hear out of nowhere, "Well, I'm not finished with you," and then comes back into
Get
frame.
over here!
It was so awesome because the beatdown went on forever, and then they're strapping them in. The crowd, by the way, you can still hear the crowd audio, and they're loving all of this because everyone hates Roman except Vince McMahon. So every time Roman gets beat, it's fantastic. So they're loading him on the stretcher. They're taping him down to the stretcher, and the crowd's chanting "You deserve it" at him. It's magical. So Braun's like, "I'm not finished with you yet." He grabs the stretcher, dude, and he again. There's a camera cut, so I don't know how. So from behind, they're looking over this loading bay, and he pushes the stretcher off the loading bay, and it goes all over the loading bay, lawn darts into the ground below, and topples over. It's great. So they cut again. They go back down there. Roman's still tied to the stretcher, all busted up. the EMTs come back around again, and they load him up. This time they pick him up and they load him into the ambulance. What happens? I'm not finished with you yet. Braun comes back into frame. He just goes at the ambulance.
Get back over here.
Oh, my God. He starts pounding on Roman again. And then, this is clearly gimmicked, but for what they were trying to accomplish, it's fantastic. Braun gets out of the ambulance. The camera goes around to the side of the ambulance. Braun comes over and proceeds to pick up the ambulance and push it on its side with Roman inside.
All right, so clearly on the side of the ambulance that is skewed from the camera.
Yeah. There's some kind of pull, but either way, it looked really cool. It was a hot segment, man. It was pretty funny. Anyway, that was the highlight of Raw by a mile. It was great. But the best part of my week happened on Sunday night. I, as a backer, got to watch the first episode of the new Mystery Science Theater 3000, which premieres on Netflix Friday. It's great.
Is it?
It's great. It's great. I'm so relieved and happy about it.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, dude. Like,
well, I mean, the people they have involved in it, there's a good pedigree in there. You've got Mike, the original Mike.
Joel, how you think? Yeah. Michael J. Nelson is not involved.
Well,
it's okay. It's not your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
But no, the creator is his baby.
The original creator.
He co-owns it with Shout Factory, who does the DVDs.
And, oh, God, I think I'm blanking on the guy.
Oh, it's Jonah Ray is the host now.
Jonah Ray,
from Nerdist.
He's always funny.
Patton Oswalt.
Yeah.
Felicia Day. It's all I can say about it is, like, it's new, but it's familiar. And the heart is still there. So it's
kind of like watching Force Awakens.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay.
That's a good comparison. Yeah. It's the conceit of the show is the conceit of the show. So like the theater riffing and all that hilarious. By the way, like,
what was the first movie?
As I'm not really allowed to say.
All right. No, if you're not allowed to say, you're not allowed to.
I am, but they prefer that we don't until Friday. Because I also know what all the movies are. I got access to all of them as a backer. They released all of them to us last night. You'll find out Friday. They're all going to be on Friday. But yeah, so it's fantastic. There's little nitpicks I have, like the riffing is a little faster now. Yeah. There's not as much I want to call it dead air because there is a movie playing after all. Yeah. But they're pushing in more. I don't want to say pushing, but there's more jokes than there was in the old show, which was intentional. Joel basically felt that the generation now is used to that kind of style, and
comedy's a little more fast paced nowadays.
Yeah. And honestly, it wasn't only at times that I notice it being problematic. For the most part, when the jokes land, they still land, and they're fantastic. So it was very, very good. I was very happy with the riffs. They were we were dying at many a time, and we were dying. It was great. My only other major complaint is that the new Tom Servo's voice is not as wonderfully baritone as Kevin Murphy used to be. So he gets mixed up with Jonah Ray a little bit when I'm hearing them in the theater. But the new voice of Crow T. Robot is perfect. He's pitch perfect, dude. It's great.
Nice.
So I'm really psyched about it. I'm really, really happy about it. Yeah, can you tell? Because I'm really happy about this being.
You're smiling.
It's my favorite show ever, dude. Like it. When I was a kid, that show like shaped my sense of humor, my like sarcastic nature, my consumption of media, and how I analyze media and how I think about movies and structure and stuff. Like it kind of set me on a course in a lot of ways. So. Like I'm glad it's to have it back now as an adult and I'm kind of part of why it's back.
Yeah,
it's just awesome. It's super cool. I'm so stoked for it. Friday on Netflix. I hope everyone will check it out and watch it because it's great.
Alrighty.
How was your week? I just monopolized like 10 minutes of the show.
That's fine. My week was all right. See, Tuesday night picked up Rogue One. Wednesday night watched Rogue One.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet. Am I a bad fan?
I don't think you're a bad fan, but watching it, this is my third time watching it.
Okay.
I caught it a second time in the theater. It is still extremely good. It is extremely rewatchable. it's one of those movies that fall in that category. You can kind of put it on anytime. You don't necessarily have to be in the mood for it.
So it's like, doesn't matter where you fall into the movie, you're just going to start watching it immediately?
Yeah.
Force Awakens is like that, too.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think Force Awakens, I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with me when I say this, but Force Awakens and Rogue One don't have necessarily some of the pacing issues that some of the original trilogy movies have.
Bite your tongue, sir, but okay, go on.
At least Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm talking about my favorite movie of all time here.
I'll concede that for sure.
You know, once they land on Tatooine, that movie comes to a grinding halt until they get on the Death Star.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's great stuff that happens, iconic stuff, but it's not well paced.
Yeah, that's accurate. Anyway,
so
Rogue One.
So yeah, watch Rogue One. Great special features, not outrageously extensive, but still good.
Okay.
So that was that. What did we do? Wednesday night, Thursday night, not much really happened.
We played X-Wing on Friday.
No, on Saturday.
Saturday, I'm sorry.
Friday that we didn't do game night on Friday.
Man, I'm a jerk. My friend, I have a friend of mine who plays in the metal, I guess, band
metal?
Norma Jean. Anyone out there knows Norma Jean? One of the guitar players, Jeff, is a buddy of mine. So they were in town.
Yeah.
He got us. He got me a all access backstage pass. Because they're on tour with Periphery right now. For all the kids out there that like Periphery, I met Periphery on Friday. Nice guys. I left before their set, though.
Wow.
So most people would think I'm a jerk, but I'm not a jerk. I was there to see Jeff, hung out with Jeff, and then met Periphery backstage after Jeff's band's set was done, before Periphery was on. Had a nice chat with Misha Mansour, the guitar player of Periphery, who all the guitar nerds will love. Nice guy, again, nice guys all around, but I wasn't going to hang out and watch them. So.
Gotcha. So
they don't know who I am. It doesn't matter.
Funny.
So anyway, that was Friday. Saturday we played games. Anyways,
yes.
Continue.
Funny old trivia aside, you mentioned the band name Norma Jean.
Yes.
Norma Jean, obviously being the legal name of Marilyn Monroe. By knowing me, you are within 6 degrees of separation from Marilyn Monroe.
Go on.
My biological grandfather on my father's side, although not from everything, I have very little, if any, memories of him. He passed away when I was very, very young. But from everything I've heard, was not the best person in the world. You okay there?
Last sip.
That last
sip.
All the stuff that didn't get mixed in.
Concentrate.
Right at the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, that was rough.
Might have been a mistake. Go on.
So, not one of the best persons from what I've heard. Sorry, but he was very, for lack of a better term, not really political, but very influential figure in early development Niagara Falls as like a tourist attraction back in the day.
Okay.
And he was organizer of like different events that would happen. They used to have a big parade in Niagara Falls, and this is when Niagara Falls was like huge nationwide, people coming from all over. I mean, obviously it's still kind of that tape, but from stories I've heard, it's nothing what it used to be. And in one of these parades, they got Marilyn Monroe to come and be in the parade. My grandfather met her and had like dinner with a bunch of people, and her included. So yeah,
wow,
6 degrees separation, Marilyn Monroe. There you go. Oh, and also Adam Sandler, because I met Adam Sandler once to a much lesser degree.
Yeah, not nearly as iconic.
No. So, Saturday night we had games.
Yeah.
We played X-Wing for the first time.
We did.
Unfortunately, we didn't get to finish because we started late. And it was the first time we ever played. There was a lot of setup to that game, and anytime you play a game for the first time...
Double the playtime.
Yeah, double the playtime. You're still figuring things out.
We were getting it, though, by the end.
Yeah, we were moving along pretty smoothly at the end, but I just think we were just like... Cause
I was shot, dude.
1:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And we had each taken out one of the other ships, and we're like, all right.
One or two. We were trying.
No, I took out one of your TIE fighters, and you took out Wedge.
I took out Wedge Antilles.
You did.
Yeah.
What do you think of the game?
It was better than I thought it was going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, once we got into it, I was intimidated by the setup.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, man, what is all this? And then
there's a lot to it.
You're breaking out these, like, protractors and stuff, literally. And I'm like, oh God, what are we doing? I felt very nerdy for a moment, but then once we got a few turns in, and you start, figuring out the sequence of actions and all that, it's cool.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a cool game.
I'm considering which ships to purchase next. I'm thinking I want to kind of add a bigger ship to both sides.
That's fair.
I think my next one I'm going to get is the Heroes of the Resistance pack, which comes with the Millennium Falcon and Poe Dameron's X-Wing.
Okay.
But on the other side, on the Imperial side, I could get Slave One, which is a dual faction ship. It can be used in the Imperial faction or the Scum and Villainy faction.
Okay.
Or I can get the Imperial Decimator, which is just a really sweet looking ship. I'll show it to you after the show.
I feel like just for nostalgia's sake, you got to get the Falcon and the Slave One.
There's some crazy looking Imperial ships though, like the TIE Defender and the TIE Punisher.
Okay.
Yeah, a TIE Punisher. Think of a TIE bomber on crack.
Oh, so it's got the dual cockpit thing?
No.
Oh.
Okay, so picture a TIE Punisher.
I can't.
No, I'm sorry.
A bomber?
Picture a TIE bomber.
Yes.
Okay, take the cockpit section, move it to the center.
Yeah.
Do you know like where the missile housing section?
I thought the TIE bomber was like it's got the two cockpits.
Yeah, it's got no, it's not two cockpits.
Oh,
see, I know it's because I played TIE Fighter on the.
You know what I mean? Though it's got the two things
it's got
in the middle.
A cockpit and then an armory housing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so take the cockpit, move it to the center.
Gotcha.
Now on a TIE Punisher, there's not one armory housing.
There's two.
There's four.
Four.
One on like each corner of it, and it's just a beastly looking ship.
All right.
So yeah, TIE Defender is take a standard TIE Fighter cockpit.
Yeah.
Think of a TIE Interceptor.
Yeah, I know that.
Flip the wings.
Of course.
Move two down to the bottom and put one on top.
That's ridiculous.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
That's just some guy messing around with drawings. It's like
no, it's from the now they call it Legacy universe, because you can get an E-Wing for the Rebels,
okay,
which was the ship that they premiered in the Dark Empire comic series way back in the day.
The more you know. I don't know this stuff. Okay,
so but yeah, I think we enjoyed the game. I think
a formal game board would be helpful for that game.
Yeah, definitely. There are play mats that you can buy.
Just something so we can be accurate with our placement of ships, because the way you do all the turns and the maneuvering, like. I feel like there's probably a standard grid that we're imagining,
it's not,
but
it's not so much a grid as think of like a 3x3 mouse pad.
All right,
and it's just got like a star field on it, or some of them have like the Death Star and Yavin 4.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, and you play on that.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I'm definitely gonna pick up one of those at some point. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it'd be a lot of fun if. Next time we play, we do like teams.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
And kind of go through the cards a little more first so people have better understanding of what does what. Because I think a lot of times we were just like moving and shooting. We were forgetting what like abilities we had. Well, like I said,
as we were getting into it, I was actually looking at the cards like, I can do this now. Yeah. Stuff like that.
So yeah, that's the meta of the game that I'm interested in learning. So yeah, that was
Saturday.
Friday, actually Thursday and Friday last week. You know how in the past I've done mandatory overtime at work?
Yeah.
Had the exact opposite problem this time. Not necessarily problems, actually.
What, they send you home?
We ran out of work. We have certain like policies that we pay in, and we just had like
so your overlords ran out of work for you to do.
So we have.
Do you get paid?
Yeah, I can use paid time off if I want to leave early.
Oh,
so I did that Thursday and Friday.
But you have to take the time though.
You don't have to leave if you don't want to.
Okay, well,
they'll
all
find
right.
They'll find like scrub work for you to do.
Gotcha.
And I'm just like, I'm just gonna go home.
Gotcha.
So yeah, and that was that was pretty much it. Calm, mellow weekend. Good times.
I am over the 60-hour mark in Zelda, by the way.
You know what? That is a little lower than I would have thought.
Well, this gym thing and
the beer. Speaking of Mustache only. Yeah, here you go. That's me with the mustache only.
Honestly,
I make it work, don't I?
you kind of make it. Yeah.
Well, Tom Selleck in there, isn't it?
Pump the brakes, but it's not as bad as I feared.
All right.
You rock it better than most.
It's sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can't.
Okay,
So, folks, as always,
epic intro.
We love to hear from you. We've heard from a bunch of you this week that we're going to get to momentarily. But before we do, let us tell you where you can find us if you want to ask us some questions, make some comments on the show. You can find us on Twitter at Devils Do Pod. You can go to facebook.com/devilsdopod. You can email us at thedevilsdopod@gmail.com, or you can find all these resources on the devilsdopodcast.com website. That being said, Drew, we have some cross-examination to do.
All right.
So, got a bunch of questions this week. I believe we are both gentlemen, so we will start with ladies first. Ladies being my dear wife, Julie, who sent us in a question.
All right.
Said, hi, Carl and Drew. I really enjoy all the news you share on this show and about the movies and the shows coming out. Question for you. Do you have more respect for an actor who is picky and choosy about their roles, or more respect for an actor who takes any role that comes their way? Here's the thing.
You know what it comes down to for me?
What's that?
Quality of the performance.
Yeah.
You can be in a million things, but if you're good in all of it, and I enjoy watching you in all of it, then I respect you. But if you're just in a million things and you kind of stink, I'm probably not going to respect you very much.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think we've discussed about this before, about how sometimes an actor will take a job because it's a project they're very passionate about and they want to do. And sometimes you just take a job because you want to make a paycheck.
Yeah.
Perfect example. Anthony Hopkins is in the next Transformers movie.
Yeah, he called Michael Bay a savant and like an auteur.
What?
He lavished praise on the Bay.
Wow.
And I thought, Sir Anthony's lost his mind.
A lot of respect for Anthony Hopkins. Well, we will then refer to the default example of this, which was Michael Caine.
Yes,
in Jaws 4.
That's correct.
And I quote Michael Caine, "I've never seen the movie. I've seen the house it built, and it's beautiful."
That's right.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta take the
job.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. It's like,
if you're in a position to do it, I guess it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends how stuffy you want to get about it. I mean, some guys are picky, and the art trumps all. And dude, believe me, as a musician myself, like, and it's a different medium, but still, I respect the pure guys.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, sometimes you got to pay the bill. You got to put food on the table sometimes, man.
You know what? Sometimes you just want to be in something that's fun and not really serious that, may not be.
Sure.
Perfect example, Robert De Niro.
Okay.
Past couple films he's done, people have kind of chagrined.
Uh-huh.
But you know what? He's got nothing left to prove.
No, if he wants to go around and have fun.
He just wants to have some fun.
Then that's do it up.
Work with the people he wants to work with. Have fun doing that.
Speaking of, real quick, before we forget, so Netflix ponied up money for De Niro and Pacino to be in a movie?
They did?
That's what we got to look into this, but I think they Netflix like gave them a boatload of money, and they're going to be in a movie, and Joe Pesci's even like coming out of retirement to be in it because he wants to be in a movie with Bobby De Niro.
Gone Fishing 2?
Ideally, no. Maybe something more along the lines of Casino. I'd be okay with that, but anyway.
Yeah. So yeah. Julie, thank you very much for the question.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. And now we go to a gentleman who has sent in questions in the past. Mr. Tom Fenzel.
Sup?
Send us in another email. Hey guys, I want to start off. I want to first off thank you for having a family style podcast.
As I bite through my tongue, you're welcome.
My 2-year-old loves listening to you guys, especially when you say podcast.
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 Podcast?
Podcast.
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 He is learning new words every day now, so I can't listen to Kevin Smith in my car with him.
Yeah. Understandable.
See? I told you, man. You gotta have, widens the audience.
It does. It does.
If you can give him a shout out to my son, he will smile. His name is Colin.
Hello, Colin.
Colin, buddy, thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate you listening to us. And because you enjoyed so much, podcast,
Colin. Podcast.
Questions. Drew.
Yes.
On your Switch, do you find it difficult to open the kickstand? I just got mine on Sunday, and I feel like I will break mine. Also, how did Brew Day go, which you covered?
Yeah. No, I don't have that problem really, but I don't really use the kickstand. I'm either holding it or it's in the dock. That's just where I'm at. I haven't been in a position to really take it out in public and like, hey guys, let's play something with the Joy-Con. You know what I mean? Like the kickstand routine. So I have no problem with it. I do understand the braking concern, but don't worry about breaking it. If it pops off, it pops right back on. So Nintendo thought of that, even though everyone's scared to death of breaking it. Don't worry. It goes right back on.
Well, if you break the tab, then you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, but I think you got to go through some effort to do that, I think.
All right.
Yeah, you're fine. It's good. It's all good. Switch is good. And the Brew Day was excellent. Well, like I said, not excellent, but Brew Day is always fun.
Carl, when your son is older, what stand will you have on the movies ratings of PG, PG-13, and R?
Ooh.
Will some movies still be okay for him to watch before he reaches the, quotes, appropriate age? Which ones? Julie and I have talked about this a lot before we had William, actually. See, here's the thing. Obviously, PG, there's really not going to be a lot in PG I'm going to have to worry about.
No.
PG-13 is kind of a sham rating.
Yes.
A lot of times. PG-13 was kind of brought about so that movies that were rated R but not like super hard R could have more of a box office return. You widen your audience by having a PG-13 as opposed to an R. So I think for me personally, I'm pretty sure Julie's in agreement with me that it's all based on content. Like we will screen the movie if there's something that we feel might be questionable before we let William watch it. Like the perfect example of this is Taken. Taken, because I had a debate with this with my sister-in-law. Taken is PG-13. Kidnapping,
Liam Neeson coming to kill you. That's edgy.
Yeah, that's kind of what. If I remember correctly, the PG-13 rating was created for Indiana Jones
Temple
and
of
Temple of Doom.
Dude gets his heart ripped out in that movie.
Yeah, and they didn't want to lose the box office gross, so they invented a rating to make it a little more acceptable. So yeah, it's gonna be case dependent.
That's fair.
I think because I'm not gonna trust someone else's judgment on content for something that my son is gonna watch. I'm gonna watch it myself.
I watched RoboCop and Predator when I was a child, so
I'm a
little skewed in my judgment.
Yeah,
but as an adult, that was a bad call.
Oh yeah, no, don't.
I don't know if I would let my kid.
Yeah.
Then again, you know what? If I do have a child, it might be a rite of passage. Like, son, today we watch RoboCop together.
Well, yeah, you'll with any parent, you'll be able to determine when your child is ready for something like that.
Sure.
Like my father, when he found I was watching some of the more intensive stuff, he just kind of sat me down and said, you understand that this is make-believe, this is not real, you cannot go do the stuff that you're seeing here. And I was like, yeah. He's like, okay, fine, watch whatever you want.
All right.
My father, great dad, did a lot of things right. I'm probably not going to follow his example in that particular area.
Fair enough.
So yeah, that was that. To both.
Oh.
Both questions.
Hey.
Any sci-fi shows that you guys are watching right now? I'm into The Expanse on Sci-Fi. The adaptations from the books is good.
I'll be honest with you, dude. All I watch are this Marvel stuff and Mystery Science Theater right now. Better Call Saul just came back on, so I got some of my DVR waiting for me.
Yeah.
I don't really watch much television. I've heard good things about The Expanse, and I would like to put it on my list because I've heard very good things about it.
I think as far as the sci-fi category goes, I'm broadening this category a lot. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. still really good.
Okay.
Especially now because they're in kind of a Matrix type environment where Hydra is in place instead of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Remind me, by the way.
And the episode was called What If?
I see what they did there.
Yeah.
Remind me when we get into our news segment about S.H.I.E.L.D. and whatnot.
Okay.
I have a little question.
All right.
Okay.
What else? You know what I just started watching? Into the Badlands.
The Kung Fu martial arts show on AMC.
Yes.
It's like on its third season, is it not?
Well, the first season just came on Netflix.
Okay.
It's only 8 episodes long.
It looked neat. How is it?
It's good.
Really?
It's really good.
Okay.
It's what the Kung Fu fights in Iron Fist should have been.
Yeah, I'm going to have a lot to say about fights choreography after our episode today.
Yeah, it's kind of like Mad Max meets Lone Wolf and Cub.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I can dig that.
Yeah. So I'm on episode like 5 or 6 right now. It's good. I would definitely recommend it.
All right.
So yeah. Suggestion. With the Star Wars Night at the Bison's game coming up in June, you guys should try and get with the group that does it. Northridge Star Wars Fan Club. The director-writer is Brian Stoyle. I believe we both know Brian, or at least I know Brian.
Okay.
And you can interview him and talk Star Wars and charity work that it provides. Thanks again, Tom Fenzel.
That is a good idea.
Yeah.
We should do that.
We can definitely look into that. Got Nickel City Con coming up next month.
We do.
That I will be. The show won't be there in official capacity.
No, you will be there in our stead. I unfortunately will be out of town. And this is weird because I just found out today that DDP is doing a DDP yoga session.
Yep.
On the Friday show, on the Friday day of the show. I would have gone to that, but I will be out of town to see Metallica.
Are you going to be out of town the whole weekend? You going to miss the con completely?
I will be out of town late Thursday evening. Metallica show is Friday. Probably coming home Saturday. I'm not sure how long the drive is from here to Rhode Island, so I wouldn't anticipate being back until Saturday night, if not Sunday. So yeah. I'm also that also means I'm going to miss William Shatner.
You're going to miss the chat.
Oh, I was going to pony up for that too.
Did you see what they're doing? I think it's the Thursday night at the what's theater? The one on Hurdle.
The North Park Theater?
Yes, North Park Theater.
Yeah.
They're screening Flash Gordon with Sam Jones in attendance.
That's pretty cool.
Afterwards.
That's smart.
That's
smart.
I might have to go see it. It's not expensive either. I think it's like $20.
See, that's the man.
I would pay $20 just to go see Flash Gordon in the theater alone.
Is it me? Just before we continue, that's the kind of thing real cities do.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's smart. We need more of that in this town.
Yeah, it's really cool. I always laugh though because like for older generations, like that Flash Gordon movie is their Batman and Robin.
Yeah, I can see that
because it's so far removed from what the comic strip was and whatnot. So yeah, but I love that movie. That movie's friggin' awesome.
Says you.
Savior of the universe. Okay. Now we get to our Cliff and Norm of the cross-examination, if you would.
Wow.
I'll let you decide who's who.
We'll let the listeners decide who's who.
So, questions this week from Mr. J. Gelsomino. I apologize for the grim nature of this week's questions in advance, but I went down a YouTube rabbit hole.
Uh-oh.
Carl, of the 4 cinematic masterpieces, what is your favorite death, human or animal, in the Jaws film franchise? Hashtag best buoys, which is a joke. Jay and I were talking, I think it was either last week or the week before, and I said that he and I should do a television show, like you do.
Yeah.
Of 2 close friends who study sharks.
Uh-huh.
And the show would be called, wait for it, Chums. I need to have a job developing television shows. Can we agree on this?
I'm not sure.
Every time I have an idea for a television
should speak volumes. I don't know if I like that or if I'm hitting myself in the... if I'm face-palming so hard.
Chums.
It's... Good job.
That's
Good
come
job.
on, that's genius.
It is. Yeah, it kind of is, actually.
See, there you go.
It's play on words.
You're thinking about it now. You're thinking about it.
I got it.
All right.
I'm with you.
Okay, best death in Jaws. I am going to go with, I forget the character's name, but the Aussie big game hunter from Jaws 3. Because he went out, like, Mama Jaws ate him. But she didn't finish him. And he went out holding out a grenade with his half-eaten, body. Sorry, Tom, for your son. We're going to be as little graphic as possible. Holding out a grenade is eating self just kind of hanging out of Jaws' mouth, which they fashion a hook to pull the pin on the grenade. So if he wasn't dead from the eating, he definitely died from the explosion. That's when the Jaws fly at the screen, because that one was the 3D one.
Yeah. That's
so yeah, the Aussie big game hunter.
Okay.
Drew,
yeah.
what is your favorite death in a Quentin Tarantino film?
Oh God, my favorite death in a Quentin Tarantino film. There's a lot of them too. Let's see. Pulp Fiction had, I don't know that it had any of my favorites. I mean, Marvin got shot in the face, and it was so matter of fact that yeah, it was so fast you almost didn't have time to register it. Really, something in Kill Bill has to be the best, and it would probably be
Bill.
Bill's good, but that's not my favorite though. I think the best in that movie would have to be Lucy Liu. They're having that sword fight, and it's in that beautiful House of Blue. It's real pretty, and then they start going at it, and it's a great fight. And then out of nowhere, bam! And you see the red splash across the snow, and they zoom in on her face, and she goes, "That was a Hattori Hanzo sword." And then the camera pans back, and the friggin' top of her dome is lopped off.
Yep,
that's pretty solid. I think I have to give it to that, but I'm probably, only because I've only seen them a handful of times each and I don't know them as intimately, I'm probably leaving out something from Bastards, Django, and Hateful Eight. I'm probably forgetting something awesome. Oh, God, dude. Hitler getting shot in the face till his head explodes. That's pretty good, too. I'm not going to lie. Anytime you can shoot Hitler in the face till his head is mush, that's pretty cool.
Sorry, Colin.
He's 2. It's okay. He doesn't need to know. When he's old enough, he'll understand. It's okay.
Okay, so, and lastly...
Podcast.
Because Jay's a ray of sunshine this week. If not already mentioned, what is your favorite cinematic death, either in coolness or in the scope of a movie? So, overall, favorite cinematic death.
Help me. And then he gets hit with a car and explodes on Clarence Boddicer's hood. Did you watch that scene lately?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
He liquefies.
Pulp.
Fiction.
That was in a movie. They made a Saturday morning cartoon out of that.
They did. They did. They were action figures.
This movie had a Happy Meal.
Yeah.
Not quite, but
all right. Favorite cinematic death.
That's probably not my favorite. That's the first one that came to mind.
Yeah. Randy Quaid in Independence Day. He'll fly. He's pilot.
Why am I not surprised, man?
That's all. No. Maybe Grand Moff Tarkin.
But just anticlimax, boom.
Because he just kind of goes out stoic, like
I don't think he ever saw
it to the last.
He never saw it coming.
Yeah, I don't know. That's tough because there's so many movies. So many movies.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That's a wide net you're casting right there.
Maybe T-Bird and the Crow.
Was pretty intense. Yeah, it was intense. I mean, not for nothing. Top Dollars is kind of more graphic.
Yeah.
He gets impaled on the gargoyle, and there's literally blood pouring out of the gargoyle's mouth.
Yeah.
It's kind of intense, isn't it?
As far as like, it's tough to say like favorite, but as far as like most emotionally moving, you have to give props to Iron Giant.
Don't, please, dude. I'm emotionally.
Stop!
No, stop, dude. I will cry. I will cry on this show.
You stay. No follow. You are who you choose to be. Superman.
Vin Diesel, I'll make fun of you all day long, man. But you make me cry with less than 5 words in your career. And that's insane. That's madness. I don't know how that works.
All right. Jay, thanks for the questions.
Apollo Creed, by the way. That one gets me still.
Yeah.
Don't tell! Oh.
Did you ever watch Creed?
No, I heard it's good. That's what I hear, man. I'm behind. I'm so behind. I'm terrible. I used to be all about movies. I used to see movies all the time, and now I'm a friggin' 34-year-old, like, grandpa. I don't go to movies anymore, and the kids there. Dude, I'm terrible. I'm the worst. I don't watch the television. What's wrong with me?
A lot.
Oh.
Okay. But we love you.
Good.
Questions from Mr. Alan Wader.
Yes. I think Alan's the cliff, personally. No, Alan's Norm, because Jay doesn't drink.
Well, they both try.
They do, but Norm's like the staple. Okay. The staple drunk.
All right.
I'm not saying you're a drunk, Alan, but Jay doesn't drink. So it's a matter of degree, really.
Gotcha. All right. I think he meant to say here, hi, guys.
Hi?
It just said, hi, guys. I guess we're an Apple product now.
You are.
Hi, guys. Just enjoying my Easter vacation, but enough about me. Carl and Drew.
Shut up, Alan.
Yeah, really. Shut up. Did you win any board games on your vacation? Because you certainly haven't won any in Game Night recently, I'll tell you that.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's Jen to show us your manhood because she still owns it and you don't have it.
Ouch.
Anyway, we saw the Ragnarok trailer, but no sign of Doctor Strange. Do you speculate that Doctor Strange will have a brief cameo like Spider-Man did in Civil War, or will have a bigger role?
Brief.
Yeah, I think it will be brief.
Based on what I saw in that trailer, which we'll talk about.
Oh, yeah,
brief.
we're going to get to the trailer. Yeah, I think it's going to be a very Spider-Man Civil War-ish cameo.
At best.
Carl, with your newfound love of board games, what is your recommendation for listeners who might be looking to get into board gaming? What games do you prefer? Worker placement, trivia, trader games, strategy board games like Blood Rage.
I think we've tackled this before.
We have tackled this before, but it shows how much Alan pays attention. Teacher and all. Supposed to, no details.
He's busy, man. He's got lesson plans and
stuff. He's busy
stuff.
doing nothing.
He is on vacation.
Intro games, I would say King of Tokyo, Settlers of Catan, Lanterns.
How do you feel about the one we played on Saturday? Splendor.
Splendor, yeah, definitely Splendor is a great. That's kind of the new hotness in the gaming world.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely those 4. As far as games I personally like, I found I've gravitated to deck building and engine building games.
Not for nothing, that Street Fighter game you have is a solid. I'd say it's a solid introductory deck building game.
Yeah, that is like the very basics of deck building. You definitely want to try something like that before attempting something like a Legendary game.
Yeah.
Because Legendary is much. I know, we still haven't beaten Apocalypse yet.
Yeah, I want to beat Apocalypse. Anyway.
Deck building games is basically when you're drafting cards to make a strong deck that you have in your hand. Engine building games are kind of along the lines of like Islebound, City of Iron, where you are fabricating a system that generates
points for you.
Yeah, points, victory points, things like that. Traditionally, engine building games are very free form.
I think a good one
to
for
a lot
that,
of creativity.
Yeah, I think a good one for that would be Seven Wonders.
Yeah, Seven Wonders.
I like that
Seven
one a lot,
Wonders is
actually.
a good combination of deck building
And engine building.
Yeah,
it's a good one. I like that game a lot.
Yeah, Seven Wonders is good. I prefer City of Iron, but
sure,
I'm never going to turn away Seven Wonders unless I want to play City of Iron instead, which I might turn away Seven Wonders. Drew,
yeah.
where do you fit Breath of the Wild in the Zelda timeline?
Oh God, dude, I have no idea. Is that the question? That's the whole question.
Yeah,
I have no clue. The Zelda the Zelda timeline is
a Zelda timeline.
Neither did anyone else until fans theorized enough, and then Nintendo officially, after decades of denying it, like put one out.
Yeah,
and it's weird. It's got 3 prongs. So there was a timeline, right?
Yeah.
This is all retroactive, because they did this like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So you have your starting point.
Yep.
And it goes up, and this is where it gets complicated because...
Give us the Cliff Notes.
Cliff Notes. What I'm about to tell you is not the order the games came out at all. So, put it this way. There is a starting point. There is a starting point. It's Skyward Sword, the one for Wii U. That's the first game in the history of the franchise, okay?
All right.
Takes place. It's the earliest event in the timeline.
Yeah.
Other games somewhere in there, I don't know which one's offhand. I have to bust up my Hyrule Historia, and we could probably look it up. But once you get to Ocarina of Time, things split 3 ways. 3 timelines after Ocarina, okay?
Okay.
You have Adult Link beats Ganon timeline.
Yep.
Adult Link loses to Ganon timeline. And then Child Link...
Wind Waker?
No. Then Child Link of Ocarina has his own timeline. So there's 3 possibility timelines out of Ocarina. And then various Zelda games fall into each of those. Ganon's always the same, allegedly. But Link and Zelda are always reincarnated into new forms, more or less, without knowledge of prior events outside of legend. Basically, I don't put stock into it anymore. When they first announced that 3-prong thing, I was just like, "There's no way this is real. This is them kind of appeasing fans who want it." The key thing with the Zelda timeline, and I think this is how Nintendo has approached it from the beginning, it is the legend of Zelda. It's a legend. It gets retold over and over and over again, and the generalities are the same, but the details are different, kind of. But it's always the same basic story. So Breath of the Wild, I have no idea canonically where it would be. I'm just going to take it as it's another reinterpretation of the Legend of Zelda.
When did they come out with allegedly of Zelda?
Allegedly.
Where it's like, he might have done this, probably didn't, but it kind of maybe happened sort of like this.
They did
in a roundabout way.
They did that. It was called Link's Awakening for Game Boy. Kind of a dream, but not really. But it was, but it wasn't. Kind of like that.
All right, so that brings our cross-examination to a close, and which leads us to dig into them case files.
Oh, and the case files are deep this week.
Do you want to start the dumpster fire, or do you want to end the dumpster fire?
I want to end strong. Let's start with the dumpster fire.
Start with the dumpster fire. Okay. Whole bunch of stuff going on in DC dumpster fire this week, folks. Earlier in the week, a report came out that Warner Brothers was planning 4 Batman movies.
Now, slow down when you say that. Yeah.
So we already knew this.
Because that headline...
Because they had announced them all already. Gotham City Sirens, Nightwing, Batgirl, and the Batman.
Has Nightwing been announced? Or is that... Okay.
Yes.
All right.
They don't have anyone attached to it. They just said they're doing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the story that came out this week was saying that all 4 of these movies were going to come out in 2019. 1 per quarter, more or less. And then the rumor about this report was that they were all going to be kind of like one story. So here's the thing. If Marvel came out and said they were going to do this, I'd be like, okay.
Right.
Fine.
I'd believe them.
Yeah, believe them. DC just doesn't have credibility yet.
No, they don't have the cachet, baby.
Yeah. So so that was that. And then I guess it came out today that they never said it was going to be all in 1 year. They were just confirming there were 4 Batman movies in development, which we already knew.
Yeah. So it's kind of like a weird non-announcement.
Yeah, it's like a weird kind of rumor with a lot of credibility to it. And then Warner Bros. Going, oh, no. We didn't say that.
But they did, though. Like, they already announced those movies.
Yeah.
I mean,
announced them.
I doubt they'll all be out in 2019, if ever. But they did kind of... Whatever. I don't care.
We can probably safely say they're going to make the Batman movie. Of the 3 others, what do you think is the most likely that actually gets made? Batgirl?
Only because Whedon's attached to it. Then again, that's not a guarantee either.
Exactly.
So I don't know. But if I had to bet, that would be my bet.
Yep.
Just because he's high profile and attached.
Gotcha. All right. So that was that. And then I guess Dwayne Johnson.
Well, hang on. First, the report came out that they were canceling the Shazam family of movies because they couldn't figure out a way to write it, because apparently that's difficult to do. In Warner Brothers' case, apparently it is difficult to write a coherent superhero movie. So they were going to cancel the Shazam movies altogether.
Yeah.
And Black Adam, who the Rock is playing, will be the main villain of Man of Steel 2. I don't know how much stock I put into that report.
Yeah.
Although I could easily see them canceling all those movies because, number one, Captain Marvel in the DC parlance, the Shazam Captain Marvel, that is.
Yeah.
Bright, cheery, fun. He's a kid who becomes a superhero.
Yeah.
That doesn't fit in DC's Murderverse aesthetic. So, I could see them getting cold feet about that.
Neck snappy.
Yeah. Color? What's this color you speak of, sir?
Guns.
So that wouldn't surprise me. But then The Rock came out, and he's all gung-ho about the Shazam family of movies.
He said there's going to be a Black Adam movie and a Shazam movie.
Yeah, and he said it's all still on board. Not for nothing, who do you trust more, Warner Brothers or The Rock?
The Rock.
Then if The Rock says it's happening, I'm inclined to believe him.
All right. I'd love to see
once
a Shazam
he gets
movie.
cold feet, then I'll say it's not happening.
I'd love to see a Shazam movie. I'd love to see a Shazam movie done right. Shazam's a great character who DC criminally undersells because they don't want him to outshine Superman.
Yeah.
And if you've spent all these years trying to kind of lower this character's profile because you're afraid he might outshine your flagship character, maybe he's just a better character.
DC doesn't know what they're doing, period. Top to bottom. So I don't know. But don't make me choose between Superman and Shazam because I'm taking Superman every time. I'm sorry.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I like Superman. Chris Reeve, man.
Well, you and I had this discussion, I think, at game night. The original Superman, Chris Reeve, Richard Donner, 1976. No,
Ish.
78.
Okay.
It's still the bar. It's still, with everything that's happened since 2008, for me, at least for me personally, that movie is still the bar.
Really?
Yeah.
For a long time, I'd say, yeah. I'll say this. For a performance of the embodiment of the character.
Oh, God.
That is the bar.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Well, then don't bother.
Said it before, I'll say it again. Robert Downey Jr. plays Iron Man.
Yes.
Chris Hemsworth plays Thor.
Yes.
Christopher Reeve was Superman.
Yeah. Basically.
So much so that he was even good in Superman 3 and 4. The movies were terrible. But you're like, Superman, what are you doing in these awful movies?
Yeah.
Because he's still Superman.
Yep. When I think of Superman, my mind's eye it's still Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. How great would a Christopher Reeve Superman and Michael Keaton Batman movie have been?
I didn't know that could be a thing in my imagination until just now. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Can we get Alex Ross on the case here to just do a portrait of some kind of that mashup. Because now I want to see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if that's as close as I'm going to get, I'll take it.
Yeah.
That would be dope.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. Okay, so that's the dumpster fire.
All right. Let's get away from the dumpster fire.
Let's go on to happier things. Although, happier... I'm miffed at this.
You're miffed.
So, yesterday...
Yeah?
Yesterday's big announcement comes out.
Okay.
Good Morning America.
Oh, this. Yes.
Huge Star Wars announcement. Happening today.
Yeah.
40 years in the making.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill and Daisy Ridley are going to be making this announcement. And I'm sitting here because a lot of people initially thought it was going to be the
trailer.
Episode 8 trailer.
Yeah.
I didn't think so because traditionally in the past when Good Morning America debuts a trailer, they say we have a trailer.
Right.
The trailer is going to debut. And also the Episode 8 trailer is debuting this weekend at Star Wars Celebration.
Right.
I looked at this teaser. I watched it. I'm like,
what could it be?
40 years in the making. Because this year's Star Wars, the original Star Wars 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
I was like, could this be it? Are we finally going to get the original theatrical release on disc?
On Blu-ray?
Like a Blu-ray disc?
We can dream. That's all I want.
And I was thinking that was it. Because I was like, all the pageantry they're building up for this, that could be it. Well, it happened today, and no, was not it. It was now, okay, I'm going to sound aggravated here.
Yes,
because I didn't get what I want.
You're going to sound like a real jerk.
I'm going to sound like a jerk. But the announcement today was for charity. The Force for Change thing that they do with all the recent Star Wars films.
Uh-huh.
They're like, hey, you can enter this and you could win this and you can win this. And granted, the prizes are pretty freaking spectacular.
Aren't it like you can be in the Han Solo movie and stuff like that?
There's three main prizes. By entering, you have a chance to win one or all three.
Wow.
The first prize is you get to go to Skywalker Ranch.
Okay.
The second prize is...
Does George still live there? No.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
No.
But you get to go into like all the archives and everything.
Okay.
The second prize is you get to go to the premiere of The Last Jedi in December.
That'd be fun.
Like in Los Angeles.
Red carpet? Woo.
Yeah. The third prize is you get like a walk-on part in the Han Solo film.
Also cool.
This is all great.
Yes.
And charity, all for charity and whatnot. But I wanted the original trilogy on disc.
Yeah.
They overblew this announcement so much.
Disappointed. Stupid charity.
Freaking, you know what? I'm so angry. I want to donate to the causes that are contradictory to the charity that Omaze helps out. That's what I'm going to do.
Just donate.
I'm the dude in Captain Planet who's polluting the earth right now.
Just go donate to Trump's campaign or something.
Oh,
that's the equivalent.
Well, yeah. So yeah. But then I was thinking, what if I won all three prizes? Because you get to take.
Well, look at you
with
now coming around.
No, I'm not coming around. I still want my damn original trilogy on disc.
If you go to Skywalker Ranch into the archives,
yeah,
you might make off with something.
But I was thinking because you get to bring a friend with you.
Yeah.
I love my wife.
Yeah.
I do love my wife.
Yeah.
She likes Star Wars.
Yeah.
But
does she love Star Wars?
Yeah, it's like, her love of Star Wars is connected mainly to my love of Star Wars.
Okay.
She enjoys it more because I'm enjoying it.
Uh-huh.
And every couple has those things where, you enjoy, your enjoyment of it is based on your partner's enjoyment of it.
Sure.
I love you, honey. Not trying to say you don't love Star Wars, bumps. So, and then there's you.
Oh.
You have a genuine like fervor and passion.
Dude,
for Star
those
Wars.
movies raised me.
Yeah.
The prequel years were hard for me because this thing I loved was being dragged through the mud.
And then there's my
There's other people you could take, man. They don't gotta take me.
Closest friends, my friend Jim, really likes Star Wars. He's kind of a middle ground between you and Julie.
Okay.
So I figured it out. If I were to win it,
I'll cut each of you in half.
No. Take Julie to the premiere.
Okay.
In Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Walk the red carpet. Jim and I would be in the Han Solo movie. Take you to Skywalker Ranch.
Why can't I be in the movie?
Seriously?
I will go to the ranch.
I would think.
No, I would love to see the ranch, actually. Only because
I would think that would be more.
Well, for a lot of reasons, actually. Because they do, on top of Star Wars at the ranch, they have Skywalker Studios and all that. Like, bands record there. Joe Satriani records, like, his last 3 records there. Like, I want to see the big room. I want to, yeah. That'd be awesome.
So if I happen to win the contest, I'm probably not going to enter. I will bring you.
Well, good luck with that. With the not-entering part.
So, yeah, that was the extremely frustrating. One more thing, we won't spend as much time on this before we get to the big story of the week. Marvel Television.
Speaking of which, yes, do I want to get this in now?
Yeah, go ahead and get it out just in case.
Question for you.
Yes.
Because I saw this in the news thing.
Yeah.
So they're making this Inhuman show. You know about that, right?
Yeah.
I saw some pictures of it. Number one, Black Bolt doesn't have his full costume, so I don't care. The only thing I do care about you know me, the Inhumans, I'm like, whatever. But the one thing I will concede, Black Bolt looks really cool. If you're not going to make him look really cool in the show, I don't care. You lose, sir. You had one job and you failed it. Good day.
They got Lockjaw in it, though.
Dude. You're
a dog man.
I'm a dog man. That's fine. But you know what they gave Black Bolt? A leather coat. That's it. It's all he's got. Doesn't have the head. No, none of it. Mask. No.
They might get there.
No.
You never know.
No, they won't. This is it. This is all we can expect. But that's not what I'm talking. So they're making this Inhuman show, right?
Yeah.
You know what came out this week?
What?
Okay, Hank, before I tell you this, before I get to the punchline, part of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which you watch.
Yeah.
Part of that show is like this big build towards the Inhumans, right? At least it was for a while.
It was. They've tapered off. Like, the Inhumans are still there, and they're still a factor in the story arcs, but it's not, like,
central
revolving around the
But they're there.
Yeah.
Inhumans and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will not intertwine at all. At all.
That's weird.
What? How does that not intertwine? Why does that not intertwine? I'm not watching either, but one is born from the other.
Yeah. How
Marvel TV is weird, man.
Yeah.
I don't really care about the DC shows, but I'll give them this. They mix it up and they're doing stuff.
You're missing so much, man.
That's fine, but like I respect the fact that they can do that and like intertwine it all. And you got team ups happening. Marvel TV is like over here in this corner where
they do the multiverse in the DC shows.
Man, never the twain shall meet. They gotta walk on eggshells about referencing the movies, and this is from the studio that owns all this stuff.
Yeah, I think it won't be like completely 100% not referencing it all. I'm sure there will be some reference to some stuff. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Weird stuff, man.
So yeah, speaking of Marvel TV.
Oh.
Remember the 90s, Drew?
I do.
Remember 90s comics?
Yeah. Some better than others.
Yeah. A lot of new characters came out in the 90s. A lot of new comics started in the 90s. One of them that kind of endured was one of the first of the new breed of characters and whatnot.
Yeah.
And endured probably the longest was a group book called New Warriors.
Oh, yeah. Remember New Warriors? Remember Night Thrasher?
Wow. If we were to do a top 5 list of the most 90s characters,
they'd be on that list. Well,
Night Thrasher would be on that list.
Yeah, he'd be on there for sure.
Let me see if I can remember the original roster. Night Thrasher, Nova, Firestar, Speedball, Namorta?
Yeah, I want to say yes.
And Justice?
Nah, I don't know.
So yeah, I'm thinking along the lines. But yeah, it was a new book, came out, And it's gone through numerous incarnations.
Sure.
The New Warriors were responsible for the Civil War.
Indirectly, yes, they were.
Yeah. I guess Marvel is doing a New Warriors television show, and they released the first character that's going to be in the roster.
Who's it going to be?
It's going to be frickin' Squirrel Girl.
Squirrel Girl. Yeah, people like Squirrel Girl, man. Apparently.
The Roman Reigns of the Marvel universe.
Does she have that? No. Too many people like her to be Roman Reigns, dude.
So yeah, that's happening. That's the thing. We'll see what happens with that.
Before we get to the fun part that I want to end on.
Yeah.
Do we want to broach the subject of Marvel publisher or someone over there saying that their books aren't selling because of diversity? Do we want to touch that? Because I think he's very mistaken.
Yeah, I think we can universally agree that it's not because of their increased diversity in their books. I think it's because of their decrease in writing quality.
Yeah. It's the story, stupid.
Yeah.
You're writing bad comics. It has nothing to do with the color of the characters in the comics. I don't want Cap to be a villain. You lost me there. I don't need events every year that promise
Multiple
change
events
and then nothing
here.
really changes, but it does, but it doesn't, but it does, but it... You have played us for the fool for a long time, and now readers have caught up, and they don't want to be played no more.
Everybody needs a fool.
So don't tell me that your comics aren't selling because diversity doesn't sell.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I can't begin to unpack that statement.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Write better stuff.
Yep. No, I get you.
So
All right.
I think if we didn't bring that up, it would be a glaring omission because that kind of took over the internet this week, and
I
don't want to brush that off because that's patently ridiculous.
Yeah.
Shame on you, Marvel. You're my company of choice, and you are firmly not in my good graces right now. And you haven't been in a while, and now you're going to compound it by making statements like that. Dude, look, no. Sorry, no. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Someone over there better just do better.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That being said, Drew.
Yeah.
Trailer dropped this week.
Sure did. Look, you had concerns about this movie, and maybe you still do. We saw the pictures. We saw the '80s colors.
Yep.
In the promo art and in Thor with the haircut, and we were like, "Wow, this is kind of weird and wild." I was not prepared for what they unleashed on us in this trailer, dude. This is not at all what I thought this was going to be.
No,
it's better in every way.
Radical tone change for Thor.
Not just tone, like the visual.
Yeah.
Okay, where do we start? The trailer starts off fairly Thor-ish, where he's in chains in his normal garb, and it's like, okay, Thor, oh wow, what's going on?
Thor's having a bad day.
And then they break Mjolnir.
Yeah.
She breaks Mjolnir in her hand.
They are not burying the lead.
No.
On that.
Then, it's at that point, the trailer decides, okay, you think you know what we're going to show you with Thor and Asgard and all that. And then it takes a hard left because this movie looks like they're doubling down on all of the crazy, nutty aspects of the Marvel Universe that they were scared to show you in the first Thor movie and the second Thor movie, that now they're just like, Guardians came out, do it all. Throw it all in there. Wow.
Yeah.
There's more color in this trailer than there is in the entire DC movie universe.
It really is.
And it's glorious.
It really is.
This movie looks sweet.
I'm of two minds on this.
Go on.
On one part, I have the excitement that comes typically with the first trailer for a Marvel film.
Okay.
They're just kind of blasting it all over. Watch the trailers numerous times.
Yeah.
Here's where I have a little bit of concern. It feels very much like Guardians of the Galaxy.
A little bit.
And that works for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
I don't need Thor to be Guardians of the Galaxy. It's kind of like the opposite spectrum of what DC does.
Well,
the Batman formula works for Batman, so we're going to apply it to everything else.
I understand.
Listen, I'm not saying that I'm not going to be, eager to see this movie. It's got that fun aspect to it. Obviously, the scene where the Hulk shows up has broken the internet.
Yeah, it has.
It looks like it's going to be good, but I just because I'm not going to lie, I'm getting a little worried. We've got Iron Fist, which we can kind of universally agree is Marvel's first misstep.
Big time.
Radical tone shift into a tone that
I don't think it's that radical, dude. I really don't. Because from what I've read and what I remember of Thor: The Dark World, it was screening poorly, and they punched up the humor to give the movie life, and they put in more Loki scenes to give the movie more life because it just wasn't working. And when they did that, The Dark World, while still, I don't think it deserves all the criticism that it gets, but I think
it's still good. I
think it's at its best when it was having fun, like little scenes like Thor going into the apartment and hanging up Mjolnir on the coat rack. I died laughing at that. It's stupid, but it's hilarious.
That scene was good. Like we've discussed in the past, I thought the movie could have done one or two jokes less.
Sure.
But again, it's just me. Like I have an idea for what I think Thor should be. And again, it's my perspective on it, not having a ton of reading history with the character. Like, I think they've pretty much kind of nailed Thor throughout Thor 1 and 2 and Avengers 1 and 2. So this is still the Phase 3 film I'm the most excited about because of everything that is going to happen in it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say that I'm like 100% gung-ho. There's that little concern that they might be trying to apply the Guardians feel to it where it doesn't necessarily need to.
I don't know. I see where you're coming from, but it just looks like so much fun. And Hela looks really cool.
Oh god, Kate Blanchett.
She looks really cool.
Freaking incredible.
Dude, like there's the part number one, she looks like really tripped out when she breaks Mjolnir and she got the black hair. It's like, oh, that's Kate Blanchett? Holy crap. But then when they give her the full headdress and the spiky weapon headdress. Like I said, they like but okay, remember when Iron Man came out? And Nick Fury showed up at the end and said the word Avengers.
Yeah.
And we all lost our minds. But Marvel was still playing it kind of cool. Like, okay, we're going to introduce Thor, but we can't call him a god. We kind of got to tread lightly on how crazy we can be. Because audiences don't really...
Is it magic? Is it science?
Right. Yeah. Audiences won't buy it. We have to be really careful. Now they're just like, whatever.
Go ahead.
Sure.
Yep.
Here you go.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. We're at a point now, dude, where the audience sees the Hulk show up in gladiator armor in a helmet with a mohawk on it.
Yep.
And they're just like, yes. I'm buying what you're selling, sir.
Did you think the Immigrant Song was a little too on the nose?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. I mean,
all right.
It's a great song, number one.
Well, yeah. I mean, Zeppelin.
But, yeah, dude, I'm all in, and much like Thor's reaction in the trailer, yes, I died laughing at that. He's a friend from work is a little silly, but I still laughed.
I'm in. I'm just little worries in the back of the head, little things here and there. I'm starting to see and whatnot.
Tom Hiddleston's back, dude. We're getting some Loki action. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
he's great. He's always great as Loki.
So I believe that is it for the case files.
It is. I can't wait. That's going to be so awesome. I'm very psyched for this movie now. Yeah. I shouldn't be, but I am. I will bet you this is the first Thor. This movie's going to do some bank. I'm telling you right now. I don't know what the first...
sure will be.
I think the first two Thor movies are probably like Marvel's least performing movies, if I had to guess.
I think so, yeah. This
one's going to change that real quick. It's going to make some money.
Alrighty. Well, Drew, let us get to the crux of the show. The reason we are here. Oh, Drew.
Yeah.
Oh, Drew.
Yeah.
This episode is that sweet, sweet goodness I was waiting for.
It is. Oh, is it?
Episode 3, New York's finest. All right. Obviously, a lot happens in this episode. I want to focus on the fight in the episode.
Okay.
And I'm not talking about the fight that happens at the end of the episode.
Oh.
At the stairwell. I'm talking about
that.
Well, we're going to talk about that. But
okay.
I primarily want to focus on the battle of philosophies.
Sure.
That takes place in this episode. Frank's got Matt on the rooftop. He's all chained to a chimney or whatnot. And we have, in these scenes, a debate that I think in a lot of ways was introduced largely, I mean, it was kind of there, but largely in the mid to late 80s with the arrival of The Dark Knight Returns and The Watchmen and kind of the decompression of the superhero mythos began.
Okay.
And it's the line that many heroes choose not to cross.
Sure.
And that is killing.
Yep. Well,
and I think the two philosophies between like the quote unquote hero and the anti-hero or vigilante or what have you, the scenes between Matt and Frank are so perfectly put those two philosophies on display that it's absolutely incredible.
These two characters have done this many a time in the comics, and this is the debate they always have. And it's very pertinent because they effectively, when you break down, who and what they are, they're very similar. They are vigilantes, going after bad guys. So the question is, well, how far are you're already operating outside of the law? How far are you willing to go in that role? And is that okay? Basically,
yeah.
And the performances here and everything, the writing, the execution is spot on.
Yeah, it's the best episode of the season, but as I've said,
gets better.
It just keeps getting better after it.
And for though I think we brought this up in our Punisher episode of our show. If you want to see where they got this whole scene influence from, go ahead and pick yourself up. Welcome Back, Frank, the Punisher trade story by Garth Ennis and the late Steve Dillon. It's great, and they lifted this whole thing from it basically, almost verbatim. Yeah. So, yeah, do that.
We learn a lot about, we see a lot about the Punisher in these scenes. One of the things that jumped out to me that I'd never noticed before is we learn a lot about Frank's patience.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like this is like a major assault that he's about to do on the biker gang.
But he's not doing it willy-nilly.
He's not. He's doing his prep work.
He did all the homework.
He's just like walking around, calm, cool, collective, sipping his coffee.
Yeah, a little thermos.
And just kind of, when the tenant, the super or whatnot, comes up on the roof, he's just very patient, calm, and
yeah.
You knew he wasn't going to kill him. He just kind of put that display on for Matt, because Matt doesn't know that. But what really jumps out to me in these is how Frank kind of tears down and points out the silliness of the concept of the superhero.
Yeah.
It's like you're running around in your PJs, at the end of the night, you come home, you take those off, you think you've achieved something. I think when all it comes down to in the debate is Frank's use of the term half measure.
Yeah, you're a half measure.
Yeah.
You hit them, they get back up. I hit them, they stay down.
Yeah.
Now, not for nothing, he's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong.
But, as Matt points out, who are you to make that choice? Who are you to decide that? And who are you to say these people can't change? Who are you to decide that they have to die?
Yeah.
So, is Frank's method effective? Sure. Is it ethical, fair, right? No, probably not.
Yeah, it's as common as we are to say that the system is broken. I don't think the system is broken. I think it's got a lot of flaws.
Got a lot of flaws.
Definitely needs some fixing. I don't think it's completely broken. The Matt Sansa's philosophy is he delivers them into the hands of the law and then lets law and justice take its
let the system do its work.
Yeah, he believes. I don't want to say he believes.
He's in the system.
He believes blindly in the system. See what I did there? But he understands that the system is the best we have right now, and he's working within it because it was.
He is in it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's honest. He's doing the honest work. Well, on top of beating the crap out of bad guys at night.
Yeah.
But as a guy in the system, he has faith in it because he works in it, and he's one of the noble ones. Now, obviously, not everyone is like that, but it's still a system that he trusts and believes in.
Yeah.
Frank doesn't care. And I think he even goes, like, Matt tries to psychoanalyze him, and Frank shuts him down, right away.
Matt actually figures it out right away. Frank doesn't tip his hand, but Matt figures out, who did you lose? Because Matt has that same experience with his father.
Sure, but do you think Matt was just throwing stuff at the wall to see if he could...
I think some of it, yes, but the asking, the who did you lose, I think he knew.
Wonder how...
He could probably sense, in the moment when he asked that, he could probably sense Frank's heart skip a beat.
Maybe, sure, okay.
I think from that on, he kind of understands why.
Yeah.
But as Frank brilliantly points out, and I can attest this, and I know a lot of people can attest this, loss doesn't work the same for everyone.
No, and he says we don't get to choose what soothes our pain.
Yeah. And I don't necessarily agree with that, because what Frank's doing in a lot of ways is kind of the easy way out. But I get what he's saying.
It's easy in a I give in to my emotion standpoint, but at the same time, it's not easy if you care about your own well-being and
I know
you value your freedom and your security in your life. I can't imagine it's easy to commit acts where you would put that in jeopardy. At the same time, if you just don't care, maybe it is easy. I don't know. I'm trying to rationalize Frank as a I'm trying to look at him as a rational person, and he's not exactly
not so much.
Not so much. No.
I think it all boils down to there's a line that has to be drawn.
And where is it?
And Matt sees the line of, like I mentioned earlier, he will deliver them into the hands of justice through, granted, illegal means.
Right.
It goes, you know what? It kind of all goes back to Dark Knight Returns when Clark is talking to Bruce. And he's like, you're a criminal. And Bruce just kind of laughs at him. He's like, we're all criminals. We've always been criminals.
Yeah.
But again, it gets back to where that line is. This goes back to countless debates I had with Virginia while working at another shop. She's always said that Batman just needs to kill the Joker. That's like the ultimate example of this debate.
Well,
why doesn't the Batman kill the Joker? Why doesn't he just kill the Joker? Because the Joker has caused an infinite amount more suffering to people of Gotham City. Actually, when you think about it, the person in that world that the Joker has caused the most suffering to is Jim Gordon.
Yeah.
It's not Batman.
No, but Batman is, air quotes, responsible in a way. I'm not going to say that he should, but he kind of should at this point.
See,
there was a point. See, put it this way: if there was a point along the way, maybe where it was like, well, he could change, whatever. Dude, the Joker's killed so many people.
He has.
Like at this point in their history, it's kind of like, dude, just this ain't going to stop.
And I think it boils down to is like how dedicated are you to the belief that that line is there, and that, like, like Jim Gordon said in The Killing Joke, we have to show him that our way works.
Yeah.
And obviously the Joker's never going to learn that because he's so insane. But for Batman to kill the Joker, or for Matt to kill Grotto, or to kill Frank on that
to save
rooftop,
Grotto, yeah.
I think we've shown in the past with these characters that it doesn't stop at just one.
No, probably not.
Once you've broken that seal,
what's to stop you?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
it's
fair.
Much easier to convince yourself of it afterwards.
I guess in Batman's case, man, every time the Joker kills like a school of people, how in the world can you sleep at night knowing you probably could have stopped that at some point?
And I think that's a testament to his character, that
Okay.
that not only does he endure the nightly punishment that he puts his body through, he endures the nightmares and the questioning and the tough choices the same way Matt does, of living with standing on that side of that line saying, I will not take this one step over, because I believe in the system. We have to show them that the system works.
And I guess if he decides that he's gonna do it, then what's he upholding exactly?
Yeah.
So I understand. It's tricky.
It is. And again, this episode shows so perfectly this debate.
Well, it also helps that the performances are strong.
Oh my God.
And that the writing is strong and the execution is strong.
How did, it was probably because it was like, it's a comic book show. How did either Charlie Cox or John Barenthal not get an Emmy?
I don't know, man, but
for this episode,
we know better. We know. We're enlightened.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Frank is. I'm watching this again now. Again, this is the second time because I watched it the once and that was it. Watching it again, man, Bernthal's really good.
He is so friggin' good.
I like almost didn't appreciate how good he was the first time around. Now watching it, because he was that Walking Dead Shane-ness was still fresh on my mind. Now I've got that kind of distance from it.
See, I never had that. I don't watch
okay, lucky you.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, okay, he is legit. He is legit. He is legit as the Punisher.
Punisher series wrap production.
Yes, it did. I can't wait, man. I hope it's for reals. For reals. Yeah. Let's just hope it's not like Iron Fist.
Did you finish Iron Fist?
No.
How many episodes in are
I don't know, 8. I'm working on it. I'll get there. I don't have a lot of incentive to get there, but I'll get there. Yeah, I'm grinding, buddy. Yeah, just everything about this is really good. It should be we get a little back. Well, okay, a couple interesting notes. Episode opens with a flashback.
Yeah,
to Matt being tended to by a nun. Is that going to come into play later? Do you think? Maybe.
I definitely think we're going to see that in season 3.
Who could it be? I don't know.
There are things we know that we don't want to spoil for those of you who just watch the show and don't have the history with the comics.
Sure. Question though, he was dreaming, right? Like, was it vision?
It was kind of, I would say, more of a hallucination.
Okay.
He's having crap kicked out of him.
Was the nun cleaning up blood in the beginning?
It started, it was, you know what? It was very Catholic symbolism. Started as water, turned to blood.
All right.
I mean, I know it's a whole wine thing, but it's
so it wasn't literal.
Still, yeah, I don't think it was literal.
Okay, because it's like, whoa, what are they? Okay, all right, fair enough. So we get a little info there. We get an itty bitty bit of Frank's backstory, which I kind of appreciated. I don't know. I doubt they're going to go too deep into it, but Matt asks Frank, "Are you Catholic?" And Frank says, "Once."
Yeah.
That's a deep pull, dude. Because in the comics, for those who don't know, before he became the Punisher, and before, at post-Marine career, pre-Punisher career, Frank was looking to get into the seminary.
I think I remember that.
He was going to become a priest.
Then did he like meet his wife? And
I don't know, because that's kind of weird when you think about it. Because I wonder how they would rectify that. Because number one, Catholic priests aren't allowed to be married, so that's
he
odd.
might have, met his wife in the time he was considering going in the cemetery, and she changed his mind.
Possibly, I don't know, because if you read, this is depending on where you want to pick your origin points, but if you read Bourne, Garth Ennis's Punisher series, Bourne, he's got the wife and the kids while he's in Nam. So I don't know.
I think in this episode we get a lot of background as to Frank Castle, the soldier.
Yeah.
Whereas in the forthcoming episode we get a lot of background as in Frank Castle as the father.
Sure.
And the husband.
I think what's important to note, though, is you are getting a little glimpse into like this guy's worldview. Like, I was normal once.
Yeah, it's, and Daredevil Matt tries to associate war with what he's doing.
Yeah, he tries to hit him with the PTSD stuff.
And Frank's just like, no, you don't.
You don't understand.
I'm talking about real stuff.
Yeah. Well, not that that's not real, but I think Matt's trying to play the easy card. Like, oh, you've got PTSD or whatever, and you're, just another soldier come home from war and you're messed up. We can help you. And Frank is like, dude, don't even try to pretend you know.
Yeah, this is so far beyond.
Yeah.
PTSD.
Yeah, you haven't seen what I've seen, neither in war or in life.
Danny Rand has PTSD, as they show in the series.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
You'll see more of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Given his terror on the plane, I get that. No, Frank, and again, this comes back to the comics, dude. Like, a lot of people read or know the character of the Punisher in the comics, and they have read it, and I think there's almost a misunderstanding that he's doing it to avenge his family and all that. Dude, he got over that hump. That was the first thing he did, was get over that hump. He does it because he can, and he
views
wants
it
to.
as what needs to be done.
Yeah. Don't misunderstand Frank's motives.
Yeah.
They're not altruistic anymore, if they ever were.
I think like he got to a point where he probably did avenge his family and kind of looked and said, okay, there's no turning back from this.
No, like I said,
there's no way I go back to a quote unquote normal life.
It was basically the first thing he did was take care of those who killed his family, and then he said, okay, well, I'm going to keep going.
Yep.
Yeah. You're right, dude. This episode breaks down the characters between Matt and Frank. Not only that, we get some Foggy doing his Foggy stuff.
Yeah, there's some like good little side things going on in this episode, but it's just so focused on what's happening on this rooftop.
But every character in the show in this episode gets a moment to show off their character, and it's well done. You get compassionate Karen, uber concerned about her clients and whatnot, and integrity of the firm and yada yada. Claire doing nursing stuff, and Foggy being diplomatic good guy Foggy.
Yeah,
and he's good at it.
And then we get to the action of the episode.
Oh, sir. Okay.
And I think one thing sums up the action in this episode, which takes place in the last 10 minutes of the episode. And I simply have the note, the smile.
Yeah, okay.
And I think you know what I'm talking about.
So, episode 2 of the first season had the hallway fight.
Yes. Hallway,
meet my friend. Stairway. Holy crap, dude.
Yeah.
And the difference is in that, let's compare the two, because it's apropos to do. Mm-hmm. In that hallway fight, it was Matt pre-armored suit in a hallway full of guys. He knew there was probably 20 guys or whatever, however many it was.
I don't think it was that many, but it was 8 or 9 guys.
Right. With guns and the whole 9. Yeah. And you see him stand at that hallway, and it's tense. And he's probably feeling like, I might not come back from this. This is big, okay? Mm-hmm. Fast forward to now.
It's got a little more mileage on him in these situations.
But when he sees them all coming, like you said, dude, the smile.
Yeah.
Let's go. let us do this.
He's got the chain. He's got the gun taped to his hand.
I forgot the gun was even taped to his hand. But after watching it, he punches all those dudes in the face with the gun taped to his hand.
Yep.
And Matt is very handy with that chain, by the way.
Yeah, Indiana Jones like.
Oh my God. He takes those dudes apart. That whole stairwell sequence. Oh my God, dude. That Iron Fist. Conversely,
you can't avoid
a
it.
show about a guy who does martial arts.
Yep.
Doesn't have any of this.
Nope.
Daredevil's fight sequences blow it out of the water.
Yeah. And we're 2 episodes in.
3
episodes in.
Yeah. This sequence is mind blowing.
And we're not even to the high level fight sequences. We're not even at the hand yet.
No, this is just Matt beating on dudes down a stairwell. Oh my
Question.
God. Yeah.
Better stairwell fight sequence. Matt against the biker gang?
Yeah.
Or Cap and Bucky against the SHIELD agents in Civil War?
Daredevil.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Love you, Cap. You know I love Cap.
I know you love Cap.
But
he's your number 2.
Daredevil, the whole sequence, dude, was just so awesome. You get to see his power subtly on display, too, because guys are coming from behind him, swinging it. He just ducks.
Yeah.
He knows they're there. Oh, it's so awesome. And then, he's walking down the hallway and the lights are on. He's swinging the chain up and knocking the lights out. He's intimidating as hell. That's intense, man. That was intense. It's good stuff. It's great stuff.
Oh, God, such a good episode.
It is a great episode.
Yeah.
It's legit. And I think back to the last episode of the first season when they reveal the costume, and we were all for whatever reason we were all kind of underwhelmed. I felt like, I
think there was just a little too much black in it.
I don't know what but the thing is, they didn't really change much in the first couple episodes because he gets a new costume coming up. They didn't change much, but man, does it look awesome as hell now.
Especially since in this scene it's kind of like all beat up and ripped and torn, and
it looks great. It just looks great. Yeah, kudos, man.
So yeah, that's pretty much the episode. You all right there?
I was going to sneeze. I don't want to sneeze in the microphone. I'm sorry. Yeah, dude, this episode was fantastic.
Yep. It's only going to get better from here on out, folks.
Yeah, sure is, man. And and the thing is, watching these first 3 episodes of the season, there's almost no. I thought that it was going to be the Punisher and Daredevil the whole season, right?
Yeah. This is kind of where we're introduced to the whole 2-act format that they kind of followed from there on out.
But unlike the other shows, I like this season's 2 acts because, not for nothing, spoilers, once Elektra comes into play, number one, I didn't expect that at all. I had no idea that was happening. I just thought it was going to be the Punisher the whole season.
Yeah.
They bring in Elektra coming up, and it's great.
Yeah.
Their take on her is really good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So we're going to get to all that. But, yeah, man, it's... Oh, this show.
So
how can this exist and then Iron Fist? Someone dropped the ball there, man. Someone done goofed.
Iron Fist is bad, but it's not great.
It ain't this.
No. God, no. It's far and away from this. So, yeah. All right. Brings such a good episode.
Yeah.
I think our episode here, too, was pretty good. Good times, good questions,
good stuff.
News.
Had a good time. Hope you had a good time out there.
If, dear listener, you would like to partake in the fun and become part of the fun, you can reach us at the following outlets. You can find us on Twitter at Devils Do Pod. You can find us on Facebook.com/Devils Do Pod. You can email us, thedevilsdopod@gmail.com, or you can find all these resources on thedevilsdopodcast.com. That being said, Drew, any final thoughts?
No, I'm good, man. That stairwell scene. Sorry, I got the tingly still.
No, I get you. All right, folks. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you or we'll talk to you next time here on The Devil's Due. But for right now, report